So, good morning and good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are in the world. We are kicking off now with the webinar of the day, 5 ways to digitally transform your manufacturing process, 5 ways to automate your manufacturing process. Call it whatever, but we have spoken about it a number of times, and I think it's time that we kick off at this stage and talk about this topic in more detail. Today's session, I have Tom with me. So Tom is a senior consultant on supply chain, has worked with a number of manufacturing companies. Tom? Okay, Tom, while you're fixing this, I will move forward. And guys, so we have Tom who will be talking to me about automation in manufacturing processes. And Tom has worked in a number of manufacturing businesses, in supply chain, and a number of different positions as well. So he'll be able to bring in his experience to us. Myself, I look after target integration. I'm the CEO, and I work with a team of very capable people who work with me to look after the ERP team here based in Dublin myself, and then we have offices in Birmingham as well. I'll talk about target integration briefly. We started the business in 2008 with a particular mission that every business should be able to leverage the full power of their business insights, reports. And reports are important because it's easier to get the data in to any system, whether it's Excel based or even a very sophisticated CRM ERP system. The challenge is to get the data out and run some reports. Tom, I can hear you now, I think.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Hey,
So,
isn't technology?
go on.
Yeah, isn't technology great when it
It
works?
sure is. It sure is. So at this stage, offices in Dublin, that's where the HQ is. We have a remote office in Birmingham, working on another one in very near London, North London, Hemel Hempstead as well. And then three offices in India. We sell our solutions over there as well. And of course, economy of scale. We've got three offices in New Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore. We opened up a new office in San Francisco. Slow progress there because of COVID-19. I hope all of you are safe and sound wherever you are, given the current circumstances. We have a development center in Greece as well. And the development center in Greece allows us to bring in quality and value to all of our customers around the globe. What do? We provide business services around software solutions. It's great to have software solutions, CRM systems, ERP systems. Let's bring in another new one, but the challenge is to have them all talking to each other. The challenge is to use them, challenges to get the best out of them, and that's where our business services team comes in picture as well. Our partners, we work with a number of different software providers. Of course, at the same time, we work with a number of different vendors who help us get these services out to our clients as well around the globe. Coming to today's topic, and I always say, don't want to kind of beat around the bush and talk about everything else, but not the topic. Topic is more important. The topic that you're here to listen about as well. 5 ways to automate your manufacturing processes. And we'll be taking a few questions throughout the session as well. If you have any, please type them into the Q&A section of Zoom or the chat section of Zoom. We will have some polls in between as well to bring in some interactivity with the team members, so the attendees who have attended us. By the way, we are touching around 20 at the moment, which is a very good number to have on a webinar where we are all bombarded with so many different webinars. So Tom will be helping me with some of these topics with his experience as well. The first and foremost way of automating your manufacturing process, of bringing in digital transformation, is to bring in digital transformation for sales and order processing. And that's where
Exactly.
Tom.
Sorry, exactly,
No,
Rohit. Because when you look at it, and good morning, everybody. The issue is that if your sales and ordering process is not automated, you basically have an unbroken chain before you start. Your sales and when you look at it, you get an order, you get a sale, you then have to move that on if you're either distributing something or you're making something. And in this case, you're making something. But so that is where it has to start from, so that everybody is on the same page from the word go. What is the order, the quantity, the expected delivery date, the expected, where in the chain does it start? And that's vital.
Very well said, Tom. And of course, they always say if the sales and marketing team, if the sales and order processing team is not talking to warehouse and not talking to manufacturing, you never know what sort of product customer may get. And yeah, you keep getting these complaints and returns then.
Yeah, exactly.
The second point then is integrate different business functions. Of course, taking from sales and ordering, it's other business functions as well. What about your inventory management? What about your, warranty management? All of these should be actually tracked in one system rather than multiple.
Absolutely. And also, you also touched on that, and you also, look at things like inventory that could be going out of date, run an aging stock report. Then that can go back to sales to say, look, we have this product, we have a lot of it, and it's going to be, obsolete in January or February. What do you want to do with it? Can there be a promotion run on it? And again, also if you're making product by batch, which is done and obviously in a number of businesses, then integrating your business functions again is essential. And if you integrate them properly, you should also be able to hold less inventory, and especially if you then put in a good demand planning situation. Again, it comes back to working with your sales and your marketing team. Then it will flow a lot easier.
You touched upon the topic pretty quickly and nicely, Tom. Demand planning is a very important topic for manufacturing companies, and particularly those who are working in manufacturing in Far East countries and bring the stock over to Europe or US. They need to work on this pretty closely because the lead time, and especially in COVID world when the lead times have extended so far out, it's very important to control demand planning, whether it's
Yeah,
procurement or
absolutely.
manufacturing.
I mean, sorry. I think a lot of people overlook demand planning. I mean, yes, it's a huge issue in manufacturing, and it also it can be even an issue when you're not even in production. But, from a manufacturing point of view, if you're bringing goods in from the Far East and you have to maybe consolidate them in Europe or Ireland or in Central Europe, you have to allow X amount of time. So therefore, there has to be good communication between all your various departments. And many companies, for some reason, don't seem to, appreciate what demand planning can do for them.
And there you go, bring everybody together, procurement, sales, manufacturing, inventory, and yes, you will have a much better system. The third point then actually brings us towards integrating with third-party partners, third-party vendors, suppliers, your 3PLs, anybody who's working with you to bring your product to market, whether it's your outsourced team who's a subcontractor and manufacturing the product for you. They are doing a part of the sub-assembly, whether they are your suppliers, where you can place an order automatically into their ordering system. Definitely, if they are a very important supplier, do that. And if it is your customers, where you can take orders from them automatically as well, integrate with your third-party partners as well.
Yeah, and I mean, the same comes where you are using a third-party distributor. So, we have to walk away from I'll send you an email with an order. The world is a kind of we're living in a global world. So it needs to be a scenario where, somebody in Europe can log on to a system, send an order, the people receiving it may be gone home. So when they come in the next morning, they see the order. It can be a request for raw material, it can be a request for finished goods, it can be a request to ship something, and again, you can then track that order through a proper system, so that you can, when that order has shipped, it will show in the system rather than, you never sent me an email. Well, email is kind of,
we are overloaded with emails at this stage, aren't we?
We are, and a lot of companies still do this. I mean, we've managed to move away from the fax machine. I'm showing my age here. To
The
email.
newer
But then,
fax machine of emails.
well, we won't go into telex machines right now, but that's a different day's work. But we've kind of then become over reliant. Oh, I'll send you an email, and the person gets 200 emails a day, and your email gets lost in the system. A good integrated system will solve so many of those problems. It really will.
No, definitely a very important point to take away. Another one then, choose an intelligent reporting system. And I touched upon it briefly when I was talking about target integration. We always say it's easier to get the information into a system. By the way, all of these points relate to systems in general and not particularly to a particular software or particular system in that regard. But definitely you should have an intelligent reporting system, the KPIs set, where you can report against the KPIs to say this is working, that's not working, this is the best product, this is the worst product, this is the product that we have in stock, and that's what we sell more, and all of those KPIs, all of those reporting systems working together.
Exactly. And you can build into a certain, like we've talked there, or you're talking there about KPIs. Well, you can also talk about minimum maximum stock levels. You can run off stock valuation reports that when the stock reaches a certain level, that's going to trigger off another warning, be it raw material stock, be it finished goods stock, where we see pinch points in the market to get things done, and also where you have situations where your stock level is low, and it can also you need to build those things into it so that you can, rather than having a surprise on a Friday evening at 5 o'clock and going, we have no stock to make something on Monday morning or even that night, which is even worse.
Which is even worse. No, you're right, which is even worse. And that's where, of course, raw material, and talking of raw material, automate the product life cycle as well. There's no point in manufacturing looking at version 1 of the bill of material while version 3 of the bill of material is coming out from R&D. And that's where a breakdown happens. That's where a breakdown may happen. You need to make sure that R&D is talking to manufacturing as well. You need to make sure that new products being developed are talking to sales and marketing and taking their feedbacks on board as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, product life cycles can either be short, sometimes they can be brutally short, especially if you're in, things like food manufacturing right now. If you just take things like certain products in food are made at certain times of the year, and that's it. But if somebody decides to make a twist or a tweak on something, they need that everybody needs to be on the same version and system and utilizing it so everybody is aware of what's going on, rather than making something and suddenly somebody going, well, that's the new version. They're going, nobody told me.
There you go. Okay, well, these are the 5 points we have put together for you. Now, before we finish off and before we can, take you to the next level, we do want to bring you and give you some action points. And one of the very important action point, which I'll present to you in terms of a poll, is, do you guys use a CRM or ERP software to automate your business functions? I'll leave that open while I am switching to a little the next part of the presentation, and we'll talk about one automation tool which you may want to see which you may want to see in a minute. So let's see some good responses coming in. And I'm getting some real good feedback on the webinar as well. So thank you for sending all the Q&As in. Please use the Q&A section or the chat window to send your questions as well. And I can see here are the so not everybody is voting, which is interesting, but here are the results as I have them. So let me just bring the results over to you. That's the results. I'm assuming everybody can see it now. So yes, 63% people have said that they do use a CRM and ERP system, while 25% say no, they haven't. And 13% say that they have tried in the past. So tried in the past is an interesting, and we would love to know why it didn't work for you. Talking of which, one of the tool that we talk about on a regular basis is Odoo. It's a business automation tool of choice at this stage, by a number of companies, by a number of businesses. And it's a dark horse, as I call it, because it's not the most popular tool out in the market when it comes to business manufacturing systems. SAP and Dynamics 365 or NAV wins the battle to a certain extent, but Odoo isn't too far off. What is Odoo? Odoo is a suite of business applications, brings in purchase management, human resource management, manufacturing, CRM, sales, inventory management, payroll, everything together for you. Um, Features of the manufacturing system that it brings in, and that's where we are focusing today. But yes, there are other webinars and other YouTube videos available from our website where you can see other features of Odoo as well. And I will be showing you a small demo where I will cover a wider range of features available from Odoo. But in general, Odoo manufacturing allows you to have, of course, all the typical stuff around bill of material, manufacturing orders, and scheduling the manufacturing orders. But there is a work center control panel as well. There is quality management, equipment management, services on the equipment and manufacturing units as well. Inventory and supply chain management is integrated into the manufacturing management app of Odoo. It has full barcode scanning integration as well. There are some reporting dashboards. You have access to external third-party reporting as well if you don't like internal reporting from Odoo. But it's a very powerful tool which brings everything together for you in one system. So let me just quickly
I
show
think
you,
one,
Tom.
sorry, Rohit. I think one other thing that should be on that slide
Yeah.
is it's user friendly.
Mm.
Because, and again, I have to say, I'm not on commission here from Odoo now, but one of the biggest things that people will talk to you about in when you install any system is it's not user friendly. And you have to go through sometimes with the bigger companies, you have to go through multiple windows and multiple layers. And anything that it's like using a website. When you log onto a website and you want to buy something, and there are studies done on this, that if you can't find something, I think in 6 clicks, you just give up and go. And it's the same that, as long as systems are around, the greatest complaint you will find is people will say, it's not user friendly, it's terrible, I can't find something, or whatever. And I have to say, Odoo is you could nearly use the word idiot proof, because I'm in the times I've used it, I have to say I'm very, very impressed with it.
So talking of user friendliness, and if I can't find something, I will easily go in and just type bill of material and it comes up. It's that user friendly. Everything in Odoo is an app, as you can see, and we are very used to of this interface because we see this on our mobile phones.
Yes.
Android or iPhone, you'll see an icon is an app. You go into any app, they're all integrated together in the background. And if I don't know where to go, I just type in the feature bills of material. So going into the manufacturing app and talking about bills of material primarily, you can see if I go to my manufacturing app, I'm presented with all the manufacturing orders which have been placed. It is fully integrated. So all these manufacturing orders have come in from, whether the manufacturing order was created automatically by a minimum maximum order rule, if it is product that you stock, or it came in from a sales order because it is a product which is make to order. I can see immediately in this manufacturing order, I'm manufacturing a table, I need to produce 20 of them. And the number of table tops reserved for me, the number of table legs, bolts, screws, whatever I need. Where did that come from? It came from a bill of material, which is defined in the system as well, and I can see that quickly. From the bill of material, I can see the structure and the cost as well. That table is made up of a phantom BOM, as it is called, where There are sub-assemblies in between, wood panel, which is manufactured from ply layer and wear layer. You also have a tabletop, which is manufactured for you. And then this tabletop is put together with table legs, bolts, and screws into a final table. You have the cost price of each of them. You have the product cost. And you get a bill of material cost as well as a product cost by looking at, and after including all the operations cost as well. Assembly line one takes around 60 minutes to manufacture this. Going back to my manufacturing order, and of course, showing you all the manufacturing orders which are there, schedule date, all of these are highlighted in red because all of my manufacturing orders are late at this stage. What product are they manufacturing? Odoo is user friendly to the extent that you can group them by products. You can group them by status or products and go, okay, three are confirmed, one is still sitting in draft. You can see a calendar view of all of these orders as well. And I want to see month view. I want to see last month. And immediately it brings me, all of these orders were scheduled for 19th of October, 20th of October, sorry, November. You can see I'm running a month behind at the moment with all of this year passing so quickly. Go into manufacturing orders, back to the list view. I also have a Kanban view, shows me a Kanban view of all the orders which are there. I can see a graph view as well to see how many orders are there. And of course, because all of them are for November, it's pretty empty data in general. Back to my standard products, I can see a list of all the products. All of my products are here. If I open up any of the products, talking about customizable desks, I can see the number of variants which are there on this desk. I can see the stock levels, what's the forecasted value. Any product moves which have happened, I can click on this icon and go to them as well. For the moment, I don't have a bill of material because this product is not manufactured. You can see I buy this product in the inventory tab and settings here. You can configure a product to be drop shipped, buy, manufacture yourself, or replenish to order, make to order as well. The particular product that we were looking at, let's have a look at that. I can search for the products by just typing in the name or the product code. Once I see my product, I open it up. I can see lot and serial numbers which have been produced against this product. I can go to the bill of materials from here as well. And it says I only have one bill of material. Why one? Because it's only version one of the bill of material. And I have a full product lifecycle management app here as well. If engineering team, and think of food business, we were talking to a burger manufacturer recently, and they have recipes, bill of materials versus recipes, and you go, wow, interesting way of looking at it. And yes, the recipes change. So if the recipe or a bill of material of a product changes, you should be able to track them in your manufacturing system as well, so that you're not
And that's
causing
also, Rohit, very
yes, Tom.
important from a food safety point of view.
Correct. Allergies, you need to track. All of a sudden you've changed the product content. That means different set of allergens have gotten into the recipe, and you have to be careful of what you're putting out to giving to your customers, sending it to your customers. Serial number and batch tracking, I was showing you there, which is a part of the inventory management app as well. All the serial numbers and batch numbers are tracked here. If you ever have to recall a particular product, you should be able to do that by the lot number or the batch number. You should be able to see what happened to this particular serial number or batch number on a regular basis. So Odoo has all of this view, and we would love to show you more, but I'm always a great believer of, finishing webinars on time so that you have a bit more time to hand and you can think about your own business, because now that you have this free time. I'll bring you back to the presentation quickly. We'll answer a few questions. And then if you have any requirements, any particular needs, any particular use cases that you want us to present, we would like to show you a deep dive into each of these apps which are provided by Odoo. Please contact us using info@targetintegration.com or one of the contact forms, or ping us a message as well. A quick overview of Odoo. We have covered that. We have shown you the live demo of the product as well. Some of the questions which we have put in, and if you have any of them, please send them through the Q&A box. Let me just see what has come in so far. So no open questions. So we'll give everybody a bit of a time to give us any questions that they have. Can ERP solve the problems of malicious sales? What kind of checks can we put in? Tom, any views around how we can control malicious sales? This is a tricky one because when you think about it, malicious sales can get into the system, particularly through your website. When people are placing orders and you're not getting the information as to, whether that's a genuine person. He could just be from anywhere in the world and he's placed an order for 2,000 different tables. One of the questions which was asked by one of the customer I was talking to recently was, we don't allow anything above 10,000 sterling from the website. I was like, why? Well, because anybody could just place an order using a dodgy credit card, and then we have big expenses on them. Can ERP solve that from a kind of tech point of view? Yes, it can. From a business management point of view, you'll have to probably put in a few risk management and compliances and checks yourself to see, should these orders be allowed? Should these be taken to the next level of if they are make to order, if they are more make to stock?
Yeah, and then again, there can be, checks and balances put on to say, well, somebody's just ordered 10,000 burgers from somewhere, or as you just said, tables that they have never ordered before. And it can be a threshold, and either a monetary threshold or a volume threshold. And normally, if the person has ordered and paid them with a dodgy credit card, normally that credit card would show up as dodgy within a couple of days, if not.
Well, sometimes there are, sometimes if you're using an intelligent payment processor, they can actually tell you pretty quickly that this is a dodgy credit card. If the credit card's location and the location of the order doesn't match, if the credit card location or credit card amount doesn't match, they can trigger quite a lot of, warnings as well, which can allow you to manage these orders. How can automation help in improving product quality? Very good question, and yes, we did not touch upon this a little bit in the webinar. But yes, there is a quality check module in Odoo. You can use Odoo to bring in some quality checks at the time of manufacturing as well, and they can help you improve product quality as well. There is IoT integration in case of Odoo as well, where you can have a vernier caliper at the end of your manufacturing line and measure each product's height, weight, distance, or whatever you call it, whatever quality checks that you have, you can measure it, feed it back into the Odoo system automatically.
Yeah, you can put in your parameters and go from that, and then you're not having to worry about your parameters all the time, and also going back to what we said earlier, everybody using, if bombs are changed and all of that, then if you're using the system, then you're not going to have things slipping through the cracks.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay. So I have the window blinking here, which is talking about any tips to optimize demand planning, given the dynamic state of the market right now.
Well, if we take this outside of Odoo, communication is probably the biggest thing at the moment. And yes, there is dynamic states at the moment. There's two things there: communication internally and communication externally. Externally to customers, suppliers, your 3PLs, your distributors, and internally, people should be talking to their customers and to each other right now to see, if you're an international situation, if you have a long-standing arrangement with people, you should have the relationship built that you can call them up on the phone or WhatsApp or whatever and go, how's business? What's happening? And I think that is some of the things that we, as businesses, have started to come back to now. That we're now, and let's not talk about email again. We're now back to people physically talking, because nobody is traveling at the moment. So people need to. There needs to be a human-to-human conversation right now.
And I
not just
think
an email.
while we are talking about all the automation and all the technology and automate this, automate that, don't forget, none of this is to automate or remove the human intervention or communication bit. Communication is very important, communicating with your team members and partners, as Tom said as well. So the biggest part of demand planning, or biggest tip on demand planning, will be communicate well, integrate well, and you should have full information on what's going on between your suppliers, your customers, and all of your partners. With that note, we would like to highlight the fact that we have launched business services. So Target Integration has launched business services, which are listed and available from our website. We are talking about everything from demand planning. We are talking everything about, manufacturing optimization. So if you have any particular needs, not just systems, but now real processes, managing them, helping you out with any of this, please contact us. We would love to have a discussion with you to understand your particular needs, your particular problems in your manufacturing unit, in your warehouse, in your logistics environments, your dealings with your 3PLs, your communication with your partners.
And Brexit.
And Brexit, of course, a big topic at the moment. So yes, speak to us and we would love to help you with that as well. With that note, and saying, we don't have any more questions to answer, I thank you all for joining the webinar today. And if you have any questions, we would love to answer them later on as well. So drop us an email on info@targetintegration.com. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn. You'll be able to find me, Tom, and rest of the Target Integration team almost on every platform. And we would love to speak to you. Tom, thank you for joining the webinar.
Yes, no problem at all, Rohit.
And speak to you all soon. Goodbye.